In the 1970s, Porsche 911s, just like this one, were the cars of movie stars. They were California beach cruisers and all rock and roll. Now though, we know these as being some of the best drivers' cars of all time. Today, we're going to take this one for a spin to show you why. A little bit more about this car specifically. This one, which is for sale right now at Richmonds, is a 1972 911S Targa. So top of the range model with the 2.4 litre fuel injected engine and obviously a removable roof, which is perfect for this summer weather that we've got right here at the moment. Originally, this particular car was a left-hand drive model and living in California, so nice and rust free, but it was imported into Australia back in the 90s, had the right-hand drive conversion done then, and it was also resprayed in this gorgeous bright red, and the interior was reupholstered in black as well. That was originally brown, which would have been pretty period correct in the 70s, but I think this paint scheme is a bit more fetching today. Now, this being a 1972 model does make it quite unique as well, because there was one interesting touch that Porsche added for 72. So in addition to the fuel filler cap on the left-hand side of the car, there is an external oil filler cap on the right-hand side as well. And while this seemed like a fairly good idea at the time, makes it easy to top up your engine oil when you need to, some owners got the two confused and put fuel in the oil. Naturally, that's made 1972 models quite rare, as I'm sure you can figure out why. Don't worry though, this 72 model being a little rarer isn't going to stop us from taking it out on the road. While the power outputs of this air-cooled flat six aren't exactly anything to write home about by today's standards, 140 kilowatts and 216 newton meters of torque, it is still pretty impressive performance-wise for a car of this age and with such a relatively small amount of power. I mean, it still does 0 to 100 in 6.4 seconds, which is still pretty punchy even today. And it feels it on the road when you actually give it a little bit. It makes a fantastic noise once you get it up around about 4,000 RPM. It really comes to life and starts to sing. The thing that's most impressive about this car though is the chassis. It is absolutely fantastic for a car of this age. Obviously, engine's in the back, as is 911 tradition, but that just means the front end feels really nimble, and being such a small car as well, it's happily thrown around. It just holds the road really nicely, and the feedback through the steering wheel is just exceptional. You can really feel what those front wheels are doing, which you just don't get in modern cars, let alone modern cars with electric power steering. And it's just so balanced. It just stays incredibly flat through these corners, and that's a good thing. It lets you get on the power nice and early on the exit. And of course, being air-cooled, faster you drive it, better it's gonna run. Isn't that how a car's meant to be? I think so. While it's obviously a sports car and feels relatively quick though, it doesn't really encourage you to push it super hard. At least I don't feel. This is really more of a cruiser. Maybe it's the whole Targa thing. I'm not sure whether that's what's doing it for me, but this feels really like that sort of California beach cruiser type car, which obviously that's what this exact car was doing at the start of its life, was cruising around California. But you don't need to absolutely thrash the pants off this thing to have a good time in it. Really, this is one of the ultimate Sunday drive cars. It's just so pleasant to be in, and the fact that you can have fun without breaking the speed limit, you know, it only adds to it, especially when on a Sunday drive you're going to be stuck behind cyclists and slow coaches and all these sorts, but you'll still be smiling. It won't be like in a lot of modern cars where you need to thrash it to feel anything. The feedback is always there, so you're always feeling involved, even when you're just cruising. And you've got back seats, so if you've got kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews, any of that, you can take them with you and have them enjoy this car with you and spread that love for these cars to the next generation. This is a really lovely drive, honestly. It's just so enjoyable, this car. And in this red and with the Targa roof, it just stands out so much, and people love it. People give you thumbs up and they wave and stuff like that, and everyone's looking. It's still got that rock and roll appeal even today. It's really lovely, this. What an absolutely charming vehicle. It's charmed me. It's charmed me all right. To inquire about this or any other vehicles in the inventory, head to richmonds.com.au.